gold statue.
Tell me about it.
It's in the shape of kind of like a lion, but it's not quite a lion. It has wings.
Is it big or small?
It's enormous. It's giant. The sun's shining on it. And I'm just standing there looking at it.
What else do you notice as you look around you and that statue?
People look like birds.
Oh, tell me about that.
They're different colors, but most of them are shades of kind of brown and tan, white. But they're like, they have heads and wings, but they have legs. They're upright.
Like, do any of those parts look like human parts?
Yeah, like human legs. With a kind of a bird head. And wings that are wings, but they're arms.
That's interesting. And are they big or little?
They're medium. They're not, in comparison to the statue, they're bigger than, there's other little things running around, but they're a lot bigger.
And the other little things running around, what are they like?
They're like these, like balls of light, like energy snakes.
And what are they doing?
They're just moving. There's balls and little lines that look like squiggly snakes just going about around the ground.
Is there a color to those?
They're kind of a white with a yellow.
And they're moving amongst the bird type beings?
Yeah, but they're on the ground. Just moving around.
Okay.
Like with a purpose.
With a purpose. Do you get a sense of what the purpose is?
I just asked one and it said I'm busy.
Oh. All right. Okay. So that's what's around you as you're looking at the statue and around that area?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're doing so good. And when you bring your focus closer to right where you're at, what do you notice then?
I just see the ground, kind of like cobblestone bricks. And my legs look like theirs.
Well, let's focus on you. So when you look down, do you see your feet, or do you have the whole leg just like them?
Yeah.
And describe that for me the best that you can.
I'm trying to fly right now and I can't fly. I thought that might be fun.
Okay.
But I have wings and they're brown and tan. I'm wearing something around my neck.
What is that?
But I'm mostly covered with feathers. It's like it's just a gold circle.
And what's the significance of wearing that gold circle?
I'm in charge of something, or the others aren't wearing them.
And what is it that you're in charge of?
I'm in charge of them.
Them being which ones?
The birds. The bird people.
Okay. And okay, so you've got your human-like legs, you've got your wings and your feathers. Do you get a sense of what your head looks like?
I can't see my face. Because I'm seeing out of the eyes.
Okay. If you were to see a reflection of yourself, now you are, how would you describe what you look like?
It's really cool. It's like, it's not like any bird I've ever seen, but it's kind of a cross between a hawk and a person.
And how does it look like a person?
Just the eyes and the front and just the head shape, because there's more of a neck.
And how does it resemble a hawk?
The color of the feathers and the beak.
Nice. Okay, and
we're doing something with the energy stuff. Like all the other birds are doing something with that, and I'm watching them.
the energy stuff being the little balls and snakes that you're talking about?
Yeah, they're tending to that.
Oh, how do they tend to that, I wonder?
It's all energy. Energy that has to go certain places, to certain people, certain planets.
And how is all of that determined, I wonder?
That's a level above me.
Okay. But you've got your gold circle and you're in charge of the bird people?
Yeah, I'm some sort of protector, and I'm just kind of overseeing it. Like I train them too if they get confused or stuck.
And if they get confused or stuck, then how do you help them?
I teach them about the energy.
Nice. So how do you spend your days?
I think I hang out by this statue a lot. I spend my days doing this work.
Tell me more about the significance of the statue.
It's a representation of our sun god.
Tell me more.
It represents the sun because we believe the sun to be this lioness bird. It's part of the spirituality. She sends us the energy. She's the one that makes the decisions, that's higher up. But I sense that I can connect with her through this statue. And that's part of my purpose and why I wear the gold necklace.
And so when you connect with her, tell me what that's like.
She's just this massive ball of energy. It's peaceful. There's so much love.
And when you connect with her, what happens? What do you tell me what that experience is like?
I can feel my chest expanding with just pure love and contentment. But it's this weird formula of love and content.
Sounds wonderful.
And when I connect with her, I feel like I'm spinning. Like really fast.
And then what happens?
She gives me information.
And what is that information like?
It's to help guide where the energy needs to go. It's just like data, like she hears the cries and the prayers and she decides which ball of light needs to go where.
And then once you get that information, what do you do with it?
It comes in through me, and then I send it to the other birds.
And how do they receive that information from you?
There's no words, it's all telepathic. And we can physically move energy. And we can see it move between each other.
Are those like the balls that you were talking about of light?
Mm-hmm. The balls are after they've worked with them and have them ready to go.
And the ones that look more like snakes, are they different?
No, they're just different packages for different types of people.
Oh, understood. And so once you've given them their information and they get the balls ready to go, then what happens?
Where I work, they make them. And that's why they're all over the ground, roaming around. And then there's another group that takes them off and transports them.
Do you do much with that group?
No.
And do you get a sense of what it's like when the energy arrives where it's needed?
I don't know what they have on the other side.
You just stay tuned into what you're doing where you're at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else going on there that day that you noticed that you want to mention?
No. It's funny to wear a beak.
Tell me about that. Is your beak very big or little?
Well, it's not very big, but it feels weird to talk.
Does your beak have a color to it?
It's gold.
Do you get a sense, do you eat where you're at, or is that not necessary?
No, I get energy. I have so much. I don't eat.
You don't eat, okay. And do you have a place where you normally would rest, or does your body not need to do that?
Oh. I turn into energy.
Oh, tell me all about that.
Oh, I played out the day. I fast forwarded it, and then I turned into energy and just kind of went into the sky for the night.
Oh, tell me what it's like to transform into energy and go to the sky for the night.
I'm just there. But it feels so open and safe.
What do you do while you're there?
I rest. And I talk to my friends.
What do you and your friends talk about?
I'm seeing a lot of symbols, but I don't know what they mean.
Oh, interesting. Can you describe the symbols the best you can?
They're just kind of lines and circles, and I don't know what we're doing. I don't, it's just a bunch of symbols.
And so then what happens next?
It's like a game we're playing. I don't know. I think I like this game, though. Then we turn back into the bird forms and we fly down.
So others are doing the same thing that you're doing at night, going back up as energy to the sky?
Just the birds in this group. The other ones aren't. are still in physical form.
Okay.
They're still learning.
So the ones that go up to the sky, are they similar to you in duty? Like they have the gold circle?
They're the ones I'm teaching.
Okay.
We shapeshift at night. The others can't do that yet.
Okay. That's a skill. Do you teach them how to do that, or is that something they just know?
No, I have to teach them so they can do the work.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you give me an understanding of how you teach them to shapeshift into the energy?
They have to go beyond the body and turn into their light. They have to drop all the heaviness. And they have to draw upon the energy of the lioness goddess, the sun. And when you mix all of those, they're able to shift.
I bet that amazes them the first time they do that.
Yeah, sometimes they play and I have to tell them it is not a game.
Wow, that's very interesting. All right, so let's do this. Let's leave that scene you're looking at. Let's drift and float to an important day in that life that you're viewing. Day when something important is happening and now you're there. And now what do you notice?
Everything's still.
Everything is still?
Still and just quiet.
And why is that?
I'm floating in the sky. I think it's the day that I learned how to shift.
Oh, tell me all about that.
I'd been training with my teacher. And I finally did it. And I was so scared when I jolted up into the sky. I was afraid I would go too far, because some get lost after they shift. But I was able to stop myself. And when I did, I felt so peaceful. So still. There's so much energy down on the planet. It's nice to have a break from it all.
I bet. And as you observe your planet from this other perspective, what else do you know about your planet?
It's very pretty. But we don't have many trees. The ones that are there are very special.
What makes them special?
They go all the way to the core. But there are only 3.
Well, that's interesting. Tell me more about those trees.
They're very, very tall. And they work with us somehow.
And you said they grow all the way to the core of the planet?
And in the core, the roots merge. They touch. They're beautiful.
Are the trees close together on your planet, or are they spread out?
No, they're at very, very particular points.
And tell me why that is.
It has something to do with... It's all about energy here. This planet. It's moving it through the poles. One of them died. There was 4.
So the trees help move the energy through the poles?
They go through the poles and up into the sky. It brings it down from the universe into the planet. That's how we get the energy. And then the sun sends it down. There's a giant... When I came in, there was a giant portal. And I'm seeing that portal again.
Oh, tell me all about that giant portal.
It's kind of boring. It's just black and it spins, and there's just like a tiny hole that I knew I could go through.
Have you been through the portal?
That's how I got down to the planet.
Oh, okay.
But it's hard to access. There's something special about this planet. It's like that secret doorway.
And you have to know the secret doorway to find the planet?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. What's so special about the planet that it would be so secret?
There's so much creation. Creation of the different energies between the universe of darkness and the universe of light.
Tell me more about that.
We're located in between the two. The one that's everything is shades of dark. We send energy there, and we also service the universe that's full of light and life.
So you're right in between the darkness and the light?
The planet is.
Planet is. And so if you had to say the the role of the planet specifically, what would you say it is?
Its job is to look after these two universes. There's others, but these two are for us to take care of.
And when you say two universes, the light universe and the darker universe?
Yeah. There's the universe on the other, there's two portals. One to a universe of light, and one where souls go to learn every shade of dark, every shade of energy that's just dark. It's not negative. I don't say dark is bad or evil. It's just dark.
And in contrast, what is the universe of light like?
There are beautiful planets and galaxies and suns and stars. It's a very busy universe.
Do you ever travel to both of them?
Sometimes.
And what would be a reason why you would go through one of the portals to go to one of those two universes?
The day off.
Like a vacation?
Just to play.
So what are some things that you've done in those two universes on a day off?
I just visit and have experiences. Look at things. Fly around. Visit the planets. And the suns. Our people like suns.
And why do your people like suns?
Because ours is so special.
That's fascinating. Anything else about traveling between the two places?
It's just fun.
All right. And so, anything else going on there that you noticed that you want to mention?
No.
All right. Well, let's leave that scene you're looking at. Let's drift and float to another important day in that life. And now you're there. And now what's happening?
back at the other moment.
Back where?
In front of the lion again.
In front of the lion. And now what's happening there?
Nothing unusual. It's just kind of the same.
And so what do you decide to do next?
I don't know. I'm just playing with energy.
Tell me what it's like to play with the energy.
I'm picking up different balls of energy and just checking on them, and it's fun for me.
What do you notice about those balls of energy when you pick them up?
How different they all are.
In what ways?
There's just even the most subtle difference between. They're just so different.
Do they feel aware of you?
It's just pure energy. No. I mean, it's aware of me. It's aware of my presence because the energy is all living and connected. But this energy's been given a very special purpose.
What is its special purpose?
The one I'm holding right now, I'm going to send to a very special planet.
Oh, tell me all about where you're sending it to.
It's a planet that's getting a new moon, and it's always been covered by water. All the creatures that live there live in this beautiful water. And they're very intelligent. And they said their requests and their prayers and asked for this healing energy because a part of their ocean was sinking in.
What do you think caused their ocean to start sinking in?
They got too big for their britches.
Oh, how'd they do that?
Sometimes when beings get special gifts and abilities, they abuse that power, not knowing they're abusing it. So in this case, we chose to help them because they were just trying to learn and understand. And they set off some things that did damage to their planet.
And these beings all live within the water?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you're going to be getting a new moon?
Yes.
And tell me, why are they getting a new moon?
Their old one got harmed.
Uh-oh, what happened?
It happened when they did the damage to their planet as well.
Oh, wow.
They didn't understand the power that they had. And they were learning it. So we choose to help them.
And so how is a new moon created and then placed where it needs to be to help them?
The energy. More energy is being created for that. To tend to this universe, this planet.
And so the energy that you're getting ready to send, what will its role or purpose be?
Well, the one is to go to the core of the earth or the planet and heal it, and the other one is to generate the new moon. But they'll go to sleep. They won't know the moon was changed.
Oh, can you explain that, please?
Let me just pause it. and time stops. And we put the new one in. Because it will cause them great confusion if they see one moon fly away and another one come in.
Oh. So will it look the same as the old one?
Mostly. There will be some who may figure it out.
What do you think the ones that figure it out will notice?
We put some blue specks on there.
Oh, what for?
For those who can notice. To give them something to see that they're correct. So if they question themselves and their reality, they can know it did change.
So they'll experience it as just going to sleep and eventually waking up, and that new moon will be in place, but most won't understand that something happened.
They won't know.
Does that happen often, that change is made like that?
Sometimes. If they mean no harm. Other planets have done damages to their planets and their moons and their suns, and we did not intercede. There's no reason to help if they are not trying.
Interesting. The ones that make the determination, for example, here to send a new moon, what are those beings like? Are you part of that decision?
It is not my decision. I work with the sun goddess, the lion, and she shows me. And then I take care of it with all of the birds. When I meet with her, and she knows, she collects all the prayers.
So she takes those prayer requests, and that's, if they're doing no harm, then that request gets granted?
She's very gentle with those who mean no harm. She's very loving with them.
Are there others on your planet that have a similar role to you?
No.
And do you get a sense of how you were picked for the job that you do?
She created me.
And what do you understand about that?
We were all created by her. But she creates us for different reasons, to help. They're just different.
So interesting. Any other information that you have about that process?
In order to be created here, you have to understand both universes.
And how was it you acquired that knowledge of both universes?
Many lives. Lots of experiences.
Very good. Thank you for sharing all of that. Well, let's leave that scene that you're looking at. Let's drift and float to another important day, and now you're there. And now what do you notice?
I just see this giant. Oh, I think I'm up close at the sun.
You're up close at the sun?
Yeah, I just saw a giant ball of light.
Oh. And so tell me all about being up close to the sun.
It's beautiful. I'm kind of floating there.
What do you notice as you're floating so close to it?
Notice that to get close, I have to shift into my energy body and out of my physical body. And I float next to her.
And what happens next?
That's it.
Do you get a sense of why you decided to float back to her at that time?
I get a sense that we're very connected. I don't know. Like I visit often.
Say that again?
I visit her often.
You visit her often, okay. And so that day, are you giving or receiving information from her, I wonder?
I'm receiving.
And tell me about the information you're receiving.
We're having a meeting about the... She's telling me which energies to make and send, and we're talking about different ones.
And tell me about those. That's so interesting.
I can't really tell. I just get the sense that we're talking about them.
Okay. And when she gives you that information about what energies to make and send, then what do you do?
I go back down and shapeshift back into the bird. And I tell the birds that work with me what needs to be done. And they get to work.
And it sounds like you can access her for that information by going to the sun and visiting her, but also through just being by her statue. Is that right?
Yeah, the necklace and the statue are connected. So that's how I can talk to her when I'm in physical form.
Tell me more about that.
The statue's just always been there. I don't remember a time it wasn't. And when I was given this job, I was given this necklace. And when I have it on, I can hear her. And when I take it off, then I don't hear her.
Oh. Is there times that you take it off?
Very rarely. There's someone who wears it for me when I don't wear it.
Oh, tell me about the one that does that for you.
I think it's my daughter. I feel parental. I feel like her mother. I don't think I'm her actual mother, but I feel very motherly towards her. Like she's the one I'm grooming to take this job.
Okay. So tell me more about that.
I teach her that she can only handle wearing the necklace for short periods of time. She can't wear it very long. Many have tried to wear it and they die because it is too much. And I worry about her wearing it too long sometimes.
So you have to kind of build up your tolerance to it?
Yeah, that is what I'm trying to do with her.
And do you feel like that's going well?
I feel like I'm worried about it. I'm worried about her ability to handle it. I want her to wear it more. And it's not fear. No one fears death here. Floating out into the universe too far. exploding from the energy.
Has she learned how to shapeshift yet?
Yes.
And so as time goes on, what happens? Is she able to handle all of that energy?
I hope so. She's struggling with it.
It's a lot of responsibility to take on, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know that she wants it.
Do you think that might be part of it?
I think so.
And so what eventually happens? How is that issue resolved?
I will have to find another. So I can do other things. But that may be a long time.
Finding just the right one that can do the job?
Yeah, that can hold the energy.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's leave that scene you're looking at. Let's drift and float to the very last day of that life. And now you're there. And what's going on? Why will it be your last day?
I'm exploding in the sky.
And what led up to that event?
I was ready to leave. I made a choice. And so I built up all of my energy until it was too much, and I exploded.
And at that moment of exploding, what was that like?
It was amazing. I spread out so far. Pieces of me went into both universes.
Oh. And what was that like for you?
Expansive. It's the biggest I've ever been.
Did you stay like that, or did you contract back?
I stayed like that for a long time.
And you could be observing both universes at once? Or not?
Yes. I could see both. All the scattered pieces of me. It's like I can see and sense and feel all of it at once.
When you decided to do that, to gather up all your energy and explode, had you found somebody to replace you?
Yes. But it was not the same girl.
Okay, so you had to find someone new?
I had to ask the sun to make someone new.
Oh, well, that's pretty clever.
Yes, I had done it long enough.
All right. Oh, very good. Well, now, let's drift away from that scene, drifting and floating back to the other side after that life. And now from this vantage point, you can look over that life of that amazing bird being and know and see everything that was important about that life. What were some of the lessons that you learned in that lifetime?
There's great responsibility with large quantities of energy. And it's also a very delicate. And you have to know all the different frequencies, all the different subtleties.
And every life has a purpose. What would you say was the purpose of your life?
was mastery of that energy, knowledge, teaching.
Is there anything else about that lifetime that stands out to you that you want to mention?
No.
All right. Very good. And now that you're back on the other side after that life, take a look around and describe for me what you noticed there.
I don't see anything.
Do you get a sense of what you'll be doing while you're there in between different lifetimes?
I went back to my soul, myself.
And what is that like?
Such pretty colors.
What colors do you notice of your soul?
I'm looking for labels for these colors, and I have none. It's all the colors that have words in this brain, but also so many more. It's so bright.
Well, let's do this. Let's move away from that scene, drifting away and moving away, drifting away and moving away, leaving that part of you there to continue the journey, finding peace and continuing the journey. Now, I want all of the consciousness and personality of Michelle back into the body. May I speak to Michelle's high self, please?
Yes.
Thank you. I have permission to speak to Michelle's high self?
Yes.
Thank you. I respect the power of the high self because I know that the high self takes care of Michelle's body and does a very good job of it. I also know that the high self has the records of everything that has ever happened to Michelle in this lifetime and all the other lifetimes she's ever lived. So I respect the power of the high self. I always ask for permission to speak to it and to ask questions. Do I have permission to ask questions?
Yes.
Thank you. I know you could have brought forth many different lifetimes for her to see today. You showed her this amazing life of this bird being and shapeshifter on this very special secret planet. Why was it important for her to see that life?
She is moving much energy in this life. It's important for her to see that she has always done this. She's mastered this. She could not have that job on that planet had she not mastered this before.
And so how is she using that skill and that knowledge in the current life of moving so much energy?
There's so much moving through her. She needs to use it. She came to this planet for a reason, and she needs to do very important work with the energy.
And what's the specific reasons why she came to this planet at this time?
To help the earth. To help with the change in the energy. The energy is shifting.
And how does she best do that?
She does. She stops and stops herself. She thinks it's not real. And then she'll believe it's real, and then she'll forget that it's real. I keep trying to remind her.
If she can accept that it's real, how does that change or affect things?
She holds on to too much of it. There's so much more she could be doing. If she knows and accepts that it's real, it's like she can go on full blast.
Well, I think we're going to be talking a lot about that today, don't you?
Yes.
And I know we'll get into it more in detail, but this must be tied into her getting struck by lightning.
Yes.
Okay, very good. It's going to be an interesting conversation for sure. All right, well, anything else about that bird life that you want her to know more about?
Not at this time.
Okay. Oh, can I just ask, she said that there was two portals, kind of secret portals. That the planet was situated between, what'd she say? Between a universe of lightness and a universe of darkness, not necessarily negativity, just dark and light. Can you tell us more about that planet she was on, or in the spaces on either end of that?
It is not a real planet. It is a created planet. It is a created planet of a collective that serves under the God consciousness.
And it was created for what purpose?
For God to do her work through. One of the Creator God collectives.
Nice. Can you tell us anything else about that particular creative God collective?
They oversee a universe of dark and a universe of light. They are my dear friends.
All right, beautiful. Okay, well, as you know, she came into the session with a very interesting list of questions from a very interesting life to draw upon. Would it be okay if I started in on that list?
Yes.
And would it be appropriate to ask for a scan of her body?
Yes.
Okay, so please start scanning her body. Tell me where you're focusing on for healing and repair. We do expect full and complete healing today for her. Where are you looking at?
Well, I know she is very concerned about her right arm.
Yes, where the lightning came through?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you see going on with her right arm?
That is no longer her arm.
Tell us what you mean by that.
The arm that she once had is no longer.
And how did that change or shift occur?
A human arm could not contain and run the energy she needs to run. So we had to change her arm.
And how did you do that?
Through the DNA.
And what did you do to the DNA? I'm curious.
She's had several upgrades. And then some alterations. I sent some beings to get her to do some repairs. And install a new arm.
And so how is the new arm different from the original arm?
This one has electric. She will have physical pain. She will have limitations. That will not change. The arm will not be healed. It serves as a reminder. If we healed the arm, she would easily forget what she is supposed to do with it.
She says at almost every night she can feel electricity going through that arm.
Yes.
To varying degrees, sometimes very, very uncomfortable, sometimes just noticeable.
Yes.
Why does it shift from one extreme to the other in discomfort?
She is constantly absorbing energy. It's being sent to her. That is why I ensured that she was shown this life on this other planet. She is receiving many of those to bring into the earth She is the portal for those.
Well, tell us more about her being the portal for those.
This energy must come somehow, and it comes through her, because her body, her essence knows. It knows the energy, and it knows without thinking. It's not her brain. She does it very effortlessly. She doesn't think about it. But she frequently feels it. And sometimes we forget what it's like to be in physical, and we send her too much. And she tells us.
So when she feels that electricity going through the arm, what do you want her to do with that?
I want her to speak to me. She tries to focus on other things.
And when she speaks to you, then what will happen?
I can guide her. Just the simple connecting with me will begin to move the energy. She does not have to do this consciously. This does not have to be work for her. But she has to be intentional about being open and letting it flow. And when she gets too caught up in human matters, it blocks the flow. That is why this happens often in the evening. Because the television is on. She is connected in with catching up on what is going on in the human world.
She said when we were talking earlier, she wondered if you were trying to tell her to stop watching the news.
She has no need for that.
So interesting. Okay, so the discomfort that she notices in the arm that was caused by the lightning strike, you're saying is the energy that needs to come in because she is a portal?
Yes.
And it's not meant to be healed?
If we heal it, she will forget her purpose.
Okay. But you're saying all she needs to do when she notices that particularly is to talk to you?
Yes. If she's getting shocked too much, I can help her to move it through.
And the best way for her to be moving this energy through so she can be doing this not even consciously is what?
There are different energies. The energies where she is a portal, she does not have to be conscious. She just has to not be hooked on to the collective. She must be connected with me.
And tell her very clearly who you speak as.
Her higher self.
She seems very open. She's had very amazing experiences throughout her life.
Yes, she's very open to me.
All right. And if the discomfort gets to be too much, she just needs to talk to you and you'll help adjust that?
Not with the arm, but with the portal energy, yes.
Okay.
The energy in the arm, she must move that through herself.
And that's no longer what we would call a human arm. It's an upgraded and new type of more electric type of arm?
Yes.
Interesting. And that was been done through the DNA?
That has been done through the DNA. And she can hold her hand in two ways, and she knows. She will know what I reference, of which hand she turns on.
Oh, can you explain that a little bit more?
When her fingers look like a human hand, the arm will operate mostly like a human hand and arm. When she shifts it, it is no longer human.
It's kind of like the shape-shifting she was doing on the planet?
Oh, she's very much a shapeshifter now.
Well, tell her more about that. That's fascinating.
Well, her arm has shifted, and she shifts that shape. When she travels in her journeys, she shape shifts. Though she keeps thinking that is not real, that is real.
It sounds like with her, it's just more an acceptance of what she might be doubting.
She fears ego.
What do you want her to know about that?
She is so precious. She is so sweet. She watched so much ego, and it hurt her heart terribly. I watch her so afraid of ego. Many humans get caught up in many fears. Her fear is always ego. If she can just believe this is not ego, she will do much better.
Okay, well, that's what we're here to gather, all the information to help her achieve that. All right. Anywhere else in the body that you're focusing on for healing for her?
Her left knee.
Okay, what do you see going on with the left knee?
And there is an energy block.
What causes that?
There was a moment that she got very scared, and it hurt her knee.
Oh.
And she blocked the energy. It was not a physical injury, it is an energetic injury.
When did that occur for her?
She was a very young adult.
And what is important for her to know about that so she can release that and unblock it?
Her memory has been wiped of that moment.
And why did that happen?
That has been a very big problem. Her memory was wiped by beings that have very good technology to do so.
Okay, well, is it okay for her to understand more about that now?
Yes.
Tell us about the higher beings that she was working with that she may not remember now.
There was an alien invasion of a group that was not kind. They did not intend well for the earth, and it was so big no one could hide it. And it came in at this point where she was located. When this happened, something in her from that past life we showed earlier activated. She turned into light. She does not remember, but she turned into light and sent out a distress call. Many beings came to help. And this is the only time and only point in history of the entire planet that permission has been given to wipe the minds of this moment in time from all of human consciousness.
Whoa. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's incredibly interesting. Can you share with us more about that moment in time, please?
I will speak of some, but not all. There is much that it is important humans do not yet know. However, the earth was saved.
Approximately when did this happen?
This happened in 1994.
In what area of the globe was she at? I'm not asking for specifics.
She was in Kenya.
And so, this group that came in, the alien invasion that didn't have positive intentions, correct?
They did not have positive intentions. What is remembered is that a plane was shot in case anyone had any memory fragments. The Arcturians ensured that the memories were wiped in a way that was very careful and very respectful.
And they were wiped for what reason?
To not remember the invasion.
Okay, wow. And why the Arcturians?
That is who Michelle called.
Okay, got it. Okay, oh my gosh. Okay, so 1994, and the plane crash, or the plane that was shot, that's the memory that humans might have?
That's the memory that those that were there were given, yes.
Okay. And globally, though, this was a known event?
There was some news of the plane, but not extensively, no.
And so was the plane directly tied into the aliens?
No, the plane was just a decoy memory.
Okay, understood. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's a fascinating topic. Okay, so how does that occur? How do the Arcturians benevolently erase the collective's memories to help them?
They specialize in much peaceful technology. This technology that they have of their knowing of humans understands their neurology and is able to do it in a way that does no harm. And it is seamless. And very few will get any memories back from this technology.
And so what happened to the aliens that were invading?
They were destroyed.
By whom?
By a group that the Arcturians called in that are more of a warrior race.
Okay. Wow. And she was involved in all of that in what way?
She has a very direct line to the Arcturians. They, as well as the avian people, go to great lengths to protect her and watch over her.
Okay. Wow, I'm just trying to think through that one. Have there been other times when similar situations have occurred where memories have been wiped like that?
This is the only time the entire planet has been wiped.
How much time period was wiped, would you say, from a human's perspective?
We do not think of time in that way. I would say in your linear years, it would have been about 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
Which is how it impacted the whole planet. Time.
So from a human's perspective, one day they're just living their life. This invasion happens, they're living through that, but then their memory gets wiped, and then all of a sudden it's just another day.
They were reset to 1 second prior. They only lost one of your Earth seconds.
Oh my gosh. And that was done out of kindness so that they didn't have the trauma of the experience?
Yes.
Wow. And for her, somehow that affected the left knee, the energy block there.
Not the Arcturians.
Oh, okay. So, let me go back to that then. How did the humans, you said, kind of messed up what happened?
Yes, there were some humans that were still aware. And they thought that she was still aware. However, she was not. And they took her and they did her great harm. And they erased those memories. And that is why she has so much trauma she does not recall. Of her time with those people who took her and then wiped her mind after they hurt her. Not directly, no.
Okay.
She did not know them.
Do you get a sense of how it is that they wipe the mind? Just curious.
It is a technology they have accessed from other beings, other planets. It was given to them. However, they misused it.
Wow. Okay. So back to her knee. What can be done to help her release that and get it healed to where it's just as good as new again?
I will tend to that.
And can you tell us how you do that? It's so interesting to hear how the healing occurs.
It is all just energy. I will move it through her as she sleeps. It will take 12 nights.
12 nights?
Yes.
Why 12, I wonder?
It will just take 12 nights. To give it to her all at once would be too much.
Okay, we don't want to do that. We want her to have it just in the right amount, but full and complete healing by the end of 12 nights. Is that right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Wow. Is there anything else about that invasion that you can share with her?
There's much I cannot discuss.
We're just curious. It's such a fascinating topic. Okay. Well, we will respect that.
She has asked me repeatedly for this information. I choose to give some today because she is so persistent.
Right. She was saying that she felt that she was going to get some information today that she'd been asking for.
Yes.
What else are you able to share with her?
I do not understand your question.
Is there more information that you can share with her that she's ready for today?
Not about the invasion, no. She may be ready, but it is not time for anyone else to know.
Okay. Okay. Well, is there any information you can share with her that will stay private with her?
Yes, I can tell her more through her channeled writing.
Okay. And that kind of like we've opened up the door to this conversation now?
Yes, permission is now there.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Good for her. Very good. All right. Anywhere else in the body that you are looking at for healing for her?
Yes, her stomach, particularly her small intestine.
She mentions that she has issues there. She's trying to heal. What do you see going on there?
She's very sensitive to foods and chemicals. It has disrupted things. She is on a good path. Particularly the things that she recently ordered, she will do well with.
Those products will work well with the body?
Yes, those products are good.
Is there any food that you recommend that she have more of or less of?
Yes, I want her to eat lots of garlic.
Okay. Oh, and why garlic?
It is very good for her. And it will kill some of the bacteria.
Is there anything you'd like her to have less of?
Meat.
Meat, okay. All meat or just certain types?
Just reduce.
Reduce, okay.
Her body can handle some meat, but to reduce.
Okay, perfect. And by using the products that she's ordered, taking in more garlic, having less meat, how will that affect her small intestines and her stomach?
It will balance. She is on a path to healing.
Nice. And what are you doing to help heal that area of the body for her?
I have guided her to the products in which I wish that she would use.
And how soon do you think she'll notice that everything's in balance again?
This will take some time, 4 to 6 months.
All right. Very good. Anywhere else in the body that you're focusing on for her?
Her shoulders.
Okay. And what do you see going on with her shoulders?
She carries so much tension.
Yes. And what's the root reason behind all the tension she carries there?
She feels so much responsibility.
What do you want her to know about that?
That it's okay to relax. She gets to rest more and play more. She has much work to do, but it is fun work for her when she is doing her work.
She says she really feels like she's stepping in now to what she's meant to be doing.
What she's meant to be doing is all energy work. And she plays with it and brings it into her other interests, yes.
And so she doesn't need to carry that tension in the shoulders at all anymore, it sounds like.
No, she pushes herself too hard.
Okay. What can you do to help relieve that tension so she remembers what it feels like to let that go?
I want her to go to massages. I want her to not just rely on me to run her energy and fix her. I want her to experience some of the pleasures of being in a human body and feeling the relief.
Nice. Okay. So it's going to be a joint effort, it sounds like.
Yes, she must do her part.
Okay. Well, if you tell somebody they have to have a massage, that's not the worst thing that they can be told, is it?
No, she enjoys them.
All right. Is it okay if I go to her list of questions?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's talk about the lightning. She says, short and intense thunderstorm came out of nowhere. She was struck by lightning through the window of her office. She noted that there was 3 places on her back that she was struck. The lightning came in, down her back, through her arm. Her hand was on the mouse. The computer was taken out. I think we've talked about this, but she asked specifically what was the purpose of being hit by lightning?
To get her new arm.
Was there an easier way to do that?
There was actually much to be done that day. As I mentioned before, there were traumas she did not understand and did not have access to memories to. We had to blast much of that out of her. This was also an effort to repair and undo the damage that had been done to her. The damage from years of trauma.
Okay. Wow. So there was a lot done that day, wasn't there?
Yes.
And why did the energy enter in through her back?
Because it had to come from behind her. She may see it come.
What would it have looked like if she would have seen it, I wonder?
She would duck.
Wow. Her dog was okay, though, close by her?
Yes, her dog was given a choice to extend her life, to see her through this time. Her dog was going to pass that day.
And the dog made the choice to stay with her?
Yes.
Oh. And she said that storm came out of nowhere. Can you talk about that a little bit?
That storm was for her. It was created for her.
Wow. To get this job done of giving her the new arm?
Yes, this was planned before she was born. We did much else with it because of things that had happened that were not planned.
A time of healing and repairing what has occurred in her physical lifetime?
Yes, we have healed all of her trauma and cleared out all of the wounds from both what she recalls and what she does not.
Wow. And that happened that day of the lightning strike?
Yes. In that moment, it also opened the channels for her to run energy as she has done in other lives.
She says she's felt a lot more energy coming through the body since that day.
Yes. She can handle it now.
She says that on Fridays she needs to like release and let go of that energy?
That is just when she slows down and pays attention.
Oh.
There are many times she releases it well. She is using it much of the week. Friday she is not doing her healing work. So by the end of the day, she notices a lot. She is running it frequently.
She said right after, or soon after the lightning strike, she would get relief by laying on the ground. Can you tell us what was happening then?
Yes, she was in a process of expanding and being able to release. That was before she started to connect in with the earth grid and could only do it by touching the surface.
Tell her about her work of connecting in with the earth grid.
It is needed to put this energy into the earth, and she has agreed to do this work.
And how does her work with the earth grid change and affect things for the earth and the inhabitants?
It was 2 months ago she learned to do this, and things have shifted. They are subtle, but that is energy for light workers, for healers, for animals, for trees, for plants to pull from.
Wow, okay. Thank you for that. That makes me remember when we were talking earlier about her very easy communications as a young one with the trees and the clouds, the animals, nature. Tell her about that a little bit.
She is very connected. She's always had such love for Earth, to be here and get to experience the beautiful plants, the animals. It is a joy. She is very connected. They are very good teachers.
And she was sharing that as a child she went mute after some traumatic experiences within her family. And she really connected in with those elements of nature at that time. Can you share more with her about that choice to go mute?
Yes, she is different. And the trees, the animals, the spirits, they have more in common with her. She's never really felt like she belonged in this world, and she really doesn't. She is here on a very special journey. They are her friends, the trees. They taught her much about the history, ways of the world, and trees are masters at moving energy. A very good teacher for a young child who must learn to master energy.
Wow. So would you say, I don't know, with those traumatic events of her childhood, in a way been a teacher for her to tune into all of that?
She asked me, why did we choose my mother? This is why, so that she would turn to them. It was very important for her to turn to them, because they had the teachings that humans don't know yet. It is not in the wisdom, or it is lost wisdom, but the trees and the rocks and the spirits of the animals remember.
Perfect. All right. Thank you for that. She asks, who specifically is she connecting with as the lightning energy flows through her?
She will not believe me.
Oh, well, that's what she's here for. Go ahead and give it to her.
She is connecting with God.
Beautiful. And tell her all about that.
Her view of God is slightly different than the way I will explain. There is the Creator, and there is the God consciousness. It is the God consciousness collective, the one that she has worked with, that hold the energy. They are sending it through from this planet that we showed earlier. There are several God consciousness collectives that see or oversee 1 or 2 universes. The one for this universe is the one that is sending the energy she creates in that other life.
In the bird life?
Yes.
So just out of curiosity, we were talking about time earlier, would you say all of this is happening simultaneously or concurrently?
It is all one. In your timeline, the bird life is in the future.
Oh.
And also in the past, because she will go back to this job. We showed elements of both.
What elements were in the future?
The lives will be very similar, but she is much larger. When she sees the picture or remembers the picture in her mind, she listens to the recording, she can pay attention to how tall she is. The future life, she is taller.
Okay. And will her experiences in this physical life, will that benefit the future life?
Yes, that is part of the purpose.
In what ways?
She has come here for a mission, and also it is important for us to understand the emotional complexity of humans. That is what she is trying to learn.
She says the humans have always confused her throughout this life.
Yes, they confuse her greatly.
She does not feel like she fits in with them.
She does not.
All right. So she asks, what is the greatest and highest purpose she could use this energy for?
She is doing it. I think she could benefit from trusting it more. And we will guide her to who and what and where it is intended to be used. The energy specifically with her hand is the energy where she will need to think about it. The other energy, she can be a seamless portal.
And you had mentioned her mission. Is that what you're also discussing now? Is her? How would you describe her mission?
Her mission is to bring this energy. Her mission is to understand emotions. She is here to help with the awakening of this planet and bring the energies that need to be in place for the next shift.
And what do you see the next shift being like?
Well, that is yet to be decided.
Lots going on here from the human standpoint. I can only imagine. What do you see happening with the planet right now?
I see the planet changing, energetically speaking. I see some, but not all, humans beginning to evolve. And I see many helpers have come in, Michelle being one of them, that are not from here, to help move them along. They have been stuck for too long.
And when they move the energy along, then what is it like?
There are many different options. It is unknown what choices will be made. The collective could be one thing or another or yet another. It is very difficult to say.
Lots of moving parts right now.
Much choice.
Yeah.
Choices will determine. Humans need more joy. They work, they do, they think, they fear. They have too little joy. They forget. They forgot. They do not know.
If they increase their joy, how does that change and affect things?
They are harder to control. They will be set free.
And why are there ones that want to control?
That is a very old question. This is not just a problem on your planet. This is a problem in many universes. There are those who become corrupted light. Everything is light. Even the universe of darkness is light. But corrupted light, that is a problem in every universe.
And so, are we trying, is there a large part of humanity that's trying, I think, to distinguish the corrupted light, would you say?
I would say that determines the outcome. Whether it is the corrupted light that moves forward, and that becomes the earth future, or there can be the light that's filled with love, the light that's filled with joy, and that moves the earth into a very different future. And some will play each out. They will both happen.
Interesting. So if your desire is to go to the more joyful version timeline, what would be the best advice you would give?
To find that joy. To look inside, to talk to your own higher self. When we take the wisdom of teachers that are corrupt, that does not teach us anything but how to be more corrupt. When we take the wisdom of a teacher that is purely there to help and guide you, you will probably have more customized advice, and you will probably land on a better path.
Do you see, does this take a long time to get through, or does it happen rather quickly in the eyes of a human on the planet right now?
I will answer the question in your heart. No, you will not see this in your lifetime.
And so what are we preparing it during this time to get to that point?
We are making it possible. We're making it possible for the timeline that is different, that is better from my perspective, because it is of light, not corrupted light.
Right. All right. Just a part of the journey, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is a very interesting question about her time when she was in Africa. She has 3 timelines that all 3 feel very, very real. I know you're aware of each of these different timelines. What do you want her to know about those 3 timelines?
2 happened.
And which 2 are those?
There is one in which there is nothing but relatively boring, mundane memories. That one was planted. She did travel, though time, because of the mind wipes, because of the invasion, time got very skewed. So she remembers things in different chunks of time from a human perspective. But those 2 happened. One is it just planted, boring, mundane memories of nothing.
And the time where she felt like she was gone for a month or a month and a half and was in the village with the shaman?
Yes, that happened.
And tell her what's important for her to know about that time that she may not recall.
He was a great teacher for her and taught her much. He was not from the earth. He lived in that village. And he was a very powerful healer. And he taught her many things. Many things she can do now. If she believes she can do them.
And why were they brought together at that time?
That was agreed upon before she came. That is what was supposed to happen. The invasion made things difficult. However, it was always intended that she go to this village and stay for a time and learn. She learned much about life and more about humans in that time than she has the rest of her life.
What was the most important things that she learned about humans in that time?
Those humans were free. They had no system of money. They had no system of free-range slavery. They were truly free people. They were kind. She saw who humans can be without abuse of power. Humans who can see. Humans who have their intuition, their gifts, as normal daily life. Humans that are controlled by nothing, who work when they work and play and rest and look after each other.
In the timeline where she felt she was only in the village for a day, giving water and pencils to the kids, what was that about?
That is the planted memory. That is the thing she is supposed to only remember. But she remembers more.
So how is it determined, like who knows what she really experienced and who determines that she gets wiped or what she remembers? And tell us more about that.
I cannot speak to that at this time.
Right. It's just such an interesting topic. Okay, yeah, but I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to overstep my boundaries there with that. Okay. But any harm that was inflicted to her during that time has been taken from her, is that right?
She has been healed. The lightning healed her.
Do you think that the similar situations occur with others on the planet?
Do you speak of the mind?
Right, the different timelines and the memory wipes and things like that?
There is a small percentage of people whose brains can begin to get the memories back or start to remember in layers as you speak of timelines.
And this has been done as a control for the most part?
It does not happen to most people. It is a small percentage who stumble across the wrong information or see beings from another planet on vacation that get too close. Something that certain individuals do not wish for the mass population to know or speak about.
Interesting, okay. But then in a direct opposite, during that invasion when the global memory was erased, that was more of a beneficial or a benevolent experience.
That took much work from the Arcturians. It was a great gift to the planet and to those who inhabit it. It was very much an act of kindness.
Absolutely.
To repair the harm that had been done to them.
Can you give us just a thumbnail picture of what actually occurred during those 2 years?
There were many ships. They had created an army. They were playing with genetics, what you call monsters. And they were very difficult for anyone on your planet to defend themselves against. They mostly wanted to mine things. They were not interested in the life. However, the life on this planet has a unique and special quality and variety. It is a special planet. It did not deserve this. These monsters had no connection to a soul. They only followed what was told to them by their leaders.
And so, how is it that the Arcturians were able to come do what they did? You said she sent out a strong signal. Was that it? Or were there other things that brought them here?
She flashed into her light body and sent out a very strong signal to the Arcturians. They came to her aid because she needed protection. She also was trying to protect and take them on. But she could not. The Arcturians were more of, what do you call them? The organizers, yes? The organizers who brought in warrior races that are more active in army-style things. Do you see? They did not come in and defeat these. They organized efforts of many beings and planets that wish to tend to and care for the earth.
And so when those warrior beings working to defend Earth arrived, what was it like at that time?
There was so much fear, destruction, grief, loss of loved ones. The population had been cut to only 40% remaining. The cities were no longer, people fled into nature to hide.
Wow, okay. So by working to take time back to the second before that invasion occurred, is that right?
Yes.
That took the 60% of the population that had exited and brought them back in?
It was like you call a rewind. They just took it back. Remember, time is not real.
Right. Well, it's been said often in sessions that this is a simulation even.
The many universes.
So many things that are possible, isn't there?
There is so much to be known in time.
Okay, thank you so much for all that. It's just, we find this fascinating. I just love to ask the questions. Thank you for being generous with your answers. Okay, so I'm getting back to her Africa questions. She does ask specifically what role did she have? I think you've explained that. Is there anything else that you want her to know?
No, not at this time.
And she asks, is there anything else related to the incident in Africa that can be shared with her?
I know she wants more information. I know this weighs on her. But there is protection in not telling her many of the things that have happened.
When she was picked for the job, the more special job where she used, used her intuition, it looked like a very random opportunity, although her some family members have had similar scenarios. Can you tell her more about how she happened to be picked for that role?
They knew for a long time she would do that role. They look for in family lines, and there are certain family lines that they always watch to see if these gifts develop. And she has a merge of two family lines that are often watched. So that put her on a radar. She has a very high moral code. This is very strong in her. She has a strong sense of ethics, and she does not think like the other humans. Remember, she is here to learn about them.
Right.
So she struggles to see their perspective, and she sees perspectives that tend to confuse the human mind when she asks her questions. It did not seem or occur to her as problematic to ask this question. She is very deeply philosophical and thought that they might be evolved enough humans to philosophize with her about whether or not they were the good guys or the bad guys, as well as if she determined they were the bad guys. No, she refused to be of assistance. They know how protected she is.
Oh, good. Okay.
She is left alone. She is watched, but she is left alone. There are many protectors that look after her, just as she could call the Arcturians in the moment. She can call for lesser help in a moment.
So, what is her connection with the Arcturians?
She has incarnated there many times.
Wow, okay. All right. She asks, who are the people, or what is her connection to the people that she sees and or hears envisioned just doing mundane things like brushing their teeth and reading the paper?
This is intended to be a background program of her gathering data, gathering information about humans and what humans do and think. But she is catching fragments as they go by. It is just intended to move through her. It is nothing for her to concern herself with.
The information that she gathers, where does that go, and what is its purpose?
It is intended to continue to study, because humans are a very deeply emotional species. They are different. Emotions, yes, all over. But the way they humans experience emotions and reality is very different. We wish to study that and give it back to the God source.
Nice, okay. She asks, is she on her right spiritual path?
Oh, yes. She is. She does very well with taking in information that can be challenging.
She asks, can she improve or access additional intuitive or psychic skills?
Yes. Yes, she can.
And how can she do that?
I wish for her to attend an ancient mystery school in another time. I will have to lead her through this in the dream state.
Okay. And that ancient mystery school, what do you think will be taught to her there?
She will train with the Arcturians.
That's awesome. Okay. What skills will they teach her?
They will help her improve her vision, the clarity, the discernment of the voices, the, what do you call them, auditory input. It will teach her how to do many different healing modalities that she is capable of doing, and things that she can do now with her new arm.
Do you think that will surprise her that she has a new arm?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Are there going to be any other body parts that get changed out for her, or is this it?
Only if necessary, but there is no more indicated.
Okay. Oh my goodness, this is so amazing. She would like to know, what is her connection with weather?
The elements are her friends. When she was a very young child, she looked out the window into a storm. She used to fly in the sky. Do you remember the story I told you earlier of her life when she would shapeshift and go into the sky?
Right.
She is the elements. She's made of elements. And she has found a great friend in the elements. The elements compose the weather. They have always looked after her. They care for her.
The weather has looked after her and cared for her?
Yes.
Okay, so we had some noise there. Well, that makes sense with talking to rocks and trees as she's young and even to this day.
She has so much respect, and that is felt by the elements, and why many humans struggle to truly connect with them. They try to command them, or they try to bend the elements to their will. But the level of respect it takes to truly be an ally with them is something most humans cannot understand.
So she had two very serious car accidents around the age of 19 and 32. Saw different timelines. One she was going into water and one she went over the water but was wet. What was happening at that time?
The accident did kill her, and we had to make a change because she was not intended to die. She has much to do in this life, and she did not want to start it all over. She was very clear she would not redo that childhood, and so we granted her wish and her request and did not restart the life.
And so the timeline where she's over on the other side of the bridge but she's wet was the restart?
Yes, it was important for her to remember. And the reason she was left wet after the restart was to help her to see these things happen.
Wow, okay. And then the time when she was in her early 30s where she got hit very, head-on collision, or not head-on, but straight on at 65 miles or more. Why did that occur?
Mm-hmm. She died then too, and went back. That happened to her just because of pure happenstance. It was not planned. However, much of the moments of that event, she was helped as she was returned.
In what ways?
To ensure that she survived.
And so that event wasn't planned, it was happenstance, you say.
Yes, we stopped her and told her before she left, "You need to paint your fingernails," because we thought that would delay her enough to not get harmed.
Oh.
We made all the efforts and she did not listen.
Okay. I wonder, the woman that struck her car, what is their connection, if any?
It was used for her own life lessons.
The other woman?
Yes. She is no longer living.
Okay. Okay. You know, and that kind of brings me down to the next question. When she was telling me about her life story, so many times in life, when she would need help and assistance, like really need it, like in those accidents, or recuperating, or in her childhood, people just aren't there to help her. She's just kind of left on her own devices. Why does that keep repeating in her life?
When she is hurt, when she is harmed, when she sees things or experiences things that other humans cannot quite see or experience, she witnesses humans as slowing down. She calls it zombie. It is like they can't quite comprehend. When she is harmed, when she is hurt, when she is scared, her energy becomes so big that it sends out so much that humans become confused around her and they cannot help her. So we ensure that she receives the assistance that she needs.
All right, thank you for that. She would like to know her draw and love about Egypt and the pyramids.
Yes. That is how she came to this earth. She came and landed in Egypt. At the time, she was Arcturian, living in a body from a place where she was being a starseed at the time. And that planet was destroyed and she came to Earth. The god Osiris took a liking to her, and she worked with him. In this lifetime, he has come to her and is part of her DNA upgrades. She has many connections with the pyramids of both what you call Egypt and what you call Lemuria.
And in that time with Osiris, tell us more about their connection and her role at that time.
She has a very powerful connection with Sun. That is part of her path. Anywhere she goes, whatever planet she is living on, because of her soul essence being so focused on energy, she has a very powerful relationship with the sun of the earth. When she was born into human form, Osiris claimed her as his daughter after she was born into this lifetime. She will think this sounds very strange.
Well, what else is important for her to know about that so that she can grasp it and accept it?
She does much work with art, and as she creates formulas, as she creates pictures, as she paints what she sees when she travels, this is very important and connected into the old gods. They are teaching her how to bring energies through, ancient energies that will help heal. She makes things that shift energy so that humans can shift their energy. And this is being taught and remembered with the ancient mystery schools she went to when she lived in that lifetime. Not as a human on the earth, but when she arrived in earth.
As the Arcturian?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that's so fascinating. Anything that she didn't ask today that you wish she would have?
I wish for her to frequently ask me questions and believe my truth. I do not wish to lie to her or trick her or fill her with ego. I know she fears this.
So is when she asks you a question, trusting the very first thing that comes to mind, is that helpful for her?
Yes, the first thing when she is connected. And she will know what that means.
Perfect. And by practicing that, what do you think will be different for her?
She can be who she is meant to be.
Which is an important mission in this life, doesn't she?
Yes, though this life is not about hard work. Please let her know, though there is a lot of work and this mission is of deep importance, this is not like some of her lives where it is so focused on work. This life, it is important for her to rest, to play, while she does her work.
Have lots of joy, you said, I think.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going back in my head over our conversation. The information that you gave about the Creator God consciousness, does that consciousness have a message they would like to get through to her?
They are creating a bundle of light, and they will send her that message. It will come through for her. The consciousness, they want her to understand her concept has been a creator God and gods. It is important for her to see what I speak of is, yes, she is correct, there is a creator. Then there are God consciousness for each sections of universes. And this is the one that she is connected in with.
Beautiful. Does she still have her connections to Arcturus?
Yes, that is how she was able to alert them, and why people cannot help her, because when she gets into the energy, it is not something the humans can handle, and she is more in an Arcturian energy.
Okay. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When she decided to have this session, what was it that you hoped that she received from it?
I wanted to explain to her about the lightning. She was very new at that when she made the appointment, and I wanted to tell her so much about it. She has since learned so much, and I am very grateful to tell her today the rest.
And that now she can go ahead and ask her questions, channel through the answers. She's ready for more information, you said that way?
Yes, she has been ready. She just does not trust because she fears ego.
Okay, but she doesn't have to worry about that at all, does she?
No, she is very gentle.
Okay, oh my goodness. So much fun information. Thank you. Anything else that you can think of that's important to bring through today?
No.
All right. How often would you recommend that she listens to her recording to get the most benefit?
I would like her to consider thinking about, she does not like it when I am directive, listening to it once a week.
Okay. And when she listens to it once a week, how will that benefit her?
She will be able to take in the information in the doses that she can handle it. She will hear more layers and depth. In fact, the recording may even change over time.
Oh, can you explain that, please?
If there is information that needs to come through, I may change the recording so she may hear it.
That is awesome. Does that happen ever with other people, or is this just for her?
We do this frequently for her when she is listening to some of her audiobooks.
You switch the information to what she needs to hear at that time?
Yes.
Is she ever aware that that's happened?
She becomes very frustrated in moments when she cannot find what she is looking for because it is no longer there.
Okay. And you would tell her it's no longer there because why?
Because it was only there for the moment that we put it there for her to hear.
Okay. Oh, gosh. So interesting. Maybe you can do like a yellow highlighter over that so she can extra pay attention to it.
She will enjoy that.
How has it been for you to come through like this and share this information?
Oh, it is fun to get to visit, to talk so directly. She listens well and hears me often, however, does not spend this much focused time and attention. She becomes distracted. So I am truly grateful for this opportunity to speak to her on some things that I know have weighed very heavy on her heart.
Well, you both have worked together very well today. I think everything's come through. Is there anything at all that you can think of that would benefit her to know more about?
She has abilities that will be coming in. There is also a great deal of importance with her and the animals on Earth. It is very important for her to recognize, I do not speak of animals that walk amongst you. I speak of the animals that are in spirit. It is important for her to recognize this is a very powerful connection and a very important connection. They support her and they help her in ways that are very real.
Can you give her an example of how they've done that for her?
The one story she frequently tells people when she tries to sound normal is when she was on the way to her exam and a turtle walked in front of her car. This story, though, has many more layers of depth that she knows, and she speaks of some of them, but her connection with the animal world is very different. She is on a council, a very earthbound council of all of the spirit animals are part of this council as part of taking care of and tending to the earth. She will know, she calls them the giraffe dreams, and this is when she is going to these council meetings.
And what work is being done by that council?
It is work to help the planet to move along in ways that have a much more loving, light-filled agenda to help save pieces of humanity that have been very confused.
Well, it's been just such a great joy to assist with this session today. Thank you so very much for bringing her here.